Chet versus Wemby for Rookie of the Year? Jaime Jaquez Jr. for Steal of the Decade? What about some marquee rookies who haven't looked as good as advertised so far? The 2023 draft class has the potential to go down as an iconic one, but how good can these rookies really be? And stick around for my bold take on Chet versus Wemby later in the video. But before going into all the big names, there are some rookies in the NBA quietly going unnoticed, like Dallas's Derek Lively II, who hit the ground running in his NBA debut with a 16-point double-double. And he's already making an early case to make an all-rookie team with his offensive and defensive impact. And now that he's back from an ankle sprain that cost him 4 games earlier, Lively had 20 and 10 against the Phoenix Suns, missed only 1 of 9 shots, and the Mavs won. They are 17 and 7 when he plays, and just 1 and 5 when he doesn't. That kind of impact as a rookie is simply rare. And in the words of Luka Doncic, he has been playing like he has been in the league for 10 years already. Well, then how about fan favorite Brandon Podziemski? The man's already fit into Golden State's strength and numbers culture like a glove. And Steph Curry's already singing his praises, saying, "Some of the stuff that he does, you can't teach. There's a feel." I said that he's a master right now of things that you can control in a game of basketball. Trying to make the right play, giving the extra effort, the will to impact the game. Those intangibles are huge. Keep doing that, and he'll get rewarded for it. See, in the NBA, it's all about the flick of the wrist. And the reason why Podziemski has hit the ground running is because he's up over 40% from three-point range already. But I can't continue much longer without praising the 18th overall pick, Jaime Jaquez Jr., with his Van Dyke-looking, cool headband-looking self. He's brought a new flair to that Heat culture and already has a Rookie of the Month award under his belt. To think that the Heat are in the thick of the Eastern Conference standings despite losing key pieces Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. And with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, and Caleb Martin missing chunks of the season to injuries is stunning. Well, actually, stepping into that void is Jaime Jaquez. See, Christmas Day games are one of the biggest stages during the regular season. Any rookie would walk into a big game like that with big nerves. I was just excited. I remember watching them a lot as a kid, so to be able to play in a game like that is an honor. The 22-year-old cooked under pressure and finished with a season-high 31 points, going 11 for 15 from the field, snatching 10 rebounds and 2 steals in 39 minutes. Here's the other thing. Nothing stirs up debates more than 2 of the biggest names squaring off head-to-head. Among rookies, this season has boiled down to 2 of the lankiest guys in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Except their first matchup was kind of a dud. Still, that's not to ignore the kind of season both of these ROTY candidates are having. Wemby had his coming out party against the Suns with 38 points in stunning fashion. How about those threes, though? 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game on the season for Wemby so far. He could become just the 6th rookie ever to make an all-defensive team. How many Defensive Player of the Year awards do you think Wemby can win? And do you think he'll prove, in the end, as the better scorer than Chet Holmgren? Because Chet is doing things even beyond a generational talent like Wemby. Chet's shooting 84% from the free throw line and shooting close to 40% from 3, while still giving you over 2 blocks per game. Talent like that doesn't grow on trees, people. But before we get a lot deeper into Wemby versus Chet, we need to have serious discussions about which of the Thompson twins is actually the best. Or do we? Ausar Thompson, as a 6'7" forward, is neck and neck with giants like Chet and Wemby in blocking shots. And in the steals department, the man is off and running, and if he keeps it up, hear me out on this, he'll become just the 5th player, 22 years old or younger, and standing under 6'8", to have more than 100 blocks and 75 steals in a season. But like all rookie draft classes, we have a few big names off to slow starts, namely the other Thompson twin, Amen, Scoot Henderson, and Brandon Miller, the 3 guys who fell in order at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot in the draft. Brandon Miller has shown more consistency, even though he was down at just 28% from 3 and 77% from the free throw line to begin the season, which was a considerable step down from his 38% from 3 and 86% from the stripe at Alabama. He's since turned it back on, shooting 40% from 3 and over 80% from the line. Seems like he's finally finding his groove, but with increased playing time and recently being promoted to Charlotte's starting lineup, Miller's only looking to take off from here. That's probably not the case for Scoot Henderson and Amen Thompson. Scoot's struggles have been under the microscope, especially with fans expecting that he'd quickly wield the stage with no more Damian Lillard in the mix. But he started the season making just 2 of his first 21 attempts from 3 is kind of worrisome. And even though he shot the ball better as of late, he's still under 29% for the season. But do you think he'll work his way to becoming a much improved shooter? And for Amen Thompson, the last thing he wants to hear is that a few years down the line, everyone starts wondering how he got a spot ahead of his brother Asar, because Amen's start has been even slower than Scoot's. Similar to Scoot, Amen's shot stroke is nowhere to be found. 12%? Really? Only 4 points per game for a top 5 pick? Alarming, I know. But Houston's young and still figuring things out. Scoot's still easing into his role. It's too early to hit the panic button for these guys, but I know what we're all here for, and let's face it, even though there are a number of outstanding rookies in the NBA right now, this battle is ultimately going to come down to Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Shoot, do you see this becoming an intense big man rivalry for years to come? Because I sure think that there's that possibility. But here's the thing about Chet versus Wemby. Both NBA youngsters are in a tight Rookie of the Year race, with Wembanyama currently being the favorite looking at the hypes, but Holmgren is certainly not far behind. Wembanyama's stats boast 19 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1 steal, and 2.6 blocks per game, which is a pretty solid all-around performance. His shooting percentages, especially the 82.1% from the free throw line, are promising, though his jump shot needs refinement. Defensively, the 7'4" Frenchman has been stellar, using his imposing physical tools to protect the rim effectively. Wembanyama currently leads all rookies in points per game, blocks, steals, free throws attempted, and rebounds per game. Now, I can't say that I'm too surprised looking at all the hype surrounding Wembanyama and what he did in France, leading his team to an LNB Pro A championship series. He still does things on the court no one has ever seen in the NBA, with his one-legged three-point runners, his tip passing, and how smoothly he takes players off the dribble for his size. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma City, Holmgren has been a key player for the Thunder, contributing to the Thunder's best record to start a season in years and second place in the Western Conference. His offensive efficiency is impressive, averaging 18.1 points on 69.3% true shooting, and he's a defensive force, leading the 7th-ranked defense in the league. Holmgren has also made franchise history after his 33-point performance in a close loss to the 76ers on November 25th. He became the first rookie in Thunder history to record multiple 30-point games in the first month of his career. The two are evenly matched and putting up similar numbers so far this season, with Holmgren shooting better from three-point range and looking more polished off the dribble. Despite Wembanyama winning Rookie of the Month in November 2023, you can make a solid case that Holmgren has slightly outperformed him, evident in the Thunder's success and his career-high performances. The Spurs, on the other hand, have struggled, winning just 2 of their last 20 games and even went on a 14-game losing streak. Holmgren's more efficient offensive game, combined with his impactful defensive contributions to the Thunder, might just be the big factor in winning the Rookie of the Year. In November, Wemby's individual stats blossomed, averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. However, the Spurs' overall performance was nothing to write home about, winning only 1 game that month. Wemby and Chet's first regular season showdown was, at least narratively, a dud. Holmgren's Oklahoma City Thunder trounced Wembanyama's San Antonio Spurs 123-87. Neither Wemby or Chet cracked double-digit scoring. Wemby had 8 points, 14 rebounds, 4 turnovers on 4 of 15 from the field, and Chet had 9 points, 7 rebounds on 3 of 10 from the field. Fans who came for the highlights were totally left disappointed. Wemby might edge Chet in some of the numbers department, but what Chet has managed to do on the court after taking an entire year off of basketball is nothing short of incredible. He's backing down defenders off the wing and hitting a defender with a turnaround fadeaway jumper that is very Kevin Durant-esque. The long NBA season leaves room for changes in this rookie race. It's worth noting that Wemby's individual brilliance might need to translate into more team success for him to secure the Rookie of the Year award. But honestly speaking, Chet's defined role and efficient contributions make him the current frontrunner. You know what this does remind me of? The Rookie of the Year race back in 2004, when the race boiled down to a pair of 19-year-olds, LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. Even to this day, some fans, and even players, argue that Melo should have won the award. And while both players were obviously deserving of the award, I don't think it's a reach to say that LeBron's mystique and aura as the chosen one helped better sell his narrative as the 04 ROTY. Even though Melo was right there with LeBron statistically, and even was on the team that he helped lead to the playoffs as a rook. And likewise, even if Holmgren continues to charge ahead with his numbers and his winning ways with OKC atop the West, Wemby might just snatch the award when it's all said and done because of the narrative. Do you agree, or am I wrong? But buckle up, because we've got a ton of storylines and narratives on the way between Chet and Wemby. But drop your projections now. Who do you got?